Excel has a number of protection schemes, and if you click on the Review tab in the ribbon, you'll see two of the more important ones. Protect Sheet, which has to do with the current worksheet, and is really about protecting data and data entry, and Protect Workbook, which has more to do with the structure of the workbook, the ability to insert, delete, move, and hide worksheets. Let's imagine in this particular worksheet that we're looking at, we've got multiple users, and some of them are allowed to make editing changes. And for the most part, those changes are allowed in columns A through D. We're sensitive about salaries, but let's say that we need to have them visible, but certainly not changeable easily. And job rating, we're just going to get that out of the way. We're going to be hiding that column. In some simple schemes sometimes, depending on who the users are, hiding columns is good enough. But we want to control this by using this feature called Protect Sheet. But we need to recognize this fact first. If you right-click any cell in an Excel workbook and go to Format Cells, the Protection tab, probably the cell is locked. All cells are locked in Excel unless you have unlocked them. And locking cells, as we see here, has no effect until you protect the worksheet. So let's click in the upper left corner, right-click, and Format Cells, unlock all cells. But now we're going to lock cells in column E. We don't want any changes there. There are formulas there that react to the data in column D. We want to lock those cells so people don't destroy formulas. And with the Control key held down, column G, we don't want any changes made there, nor in the tax rate column. So we want these columns to be locked. Right-click within the shaded area and Format Cells, lock them. We don't want column H visible at all. Let's just right-click column H and hide it. And now we're ready to protect the sheet. Protect Sheet, it's the current worksheet. We will need a password, but we're confronted with a ton of choices here. Should we allow those other users to format columns rows, insert columns rows? Let's say we're not allowing any of those. We're only allowing them to select cells, unlocked and locked both, but they'll only be able to make changes in the unlocked. So we click OK and provide that password again, and OK. Now it's in its protected state, and the icon has changed its name up above. It now says Unprotect Sheet. So the other user is looking at this, says, here's my friend Jonathan. Wonder if I can make his salary bigger. Start typing. Can't do that. It's protected. We wouldn't be changing the tax rate probably at all. But here's another little scenario. Lisa here is actually hired in 2012. That's going to be 10 years. At the time of this recording, it's October of 2022. But can I type 10 here? No, that's locked. But I can change the date. I'll change that to be 2012. Enter, and this reacts properly. And I'm the curious sort. What's hidden out here? Right-click as I drag across those two columns. Well, I can't even unhide. All these commands are inhibited. At some point, you want to have control over it, of course, and you go back to this icon that now says Unprotect Sheet, and you know the password, and now you've got control. If we want to protect the workbook, maybe the thought process is, well, we don't want others to see this particular worksheet. Let's right-click and hide that worksheet, and then let's protect the workbook. Click it. We need a password here, too, and we need it again. When the workbook is protected, anybody using it might right-click on the current worksheet. Is there another hidden sheet? Well, we don't even know because the command is grayed out. And we certainly can't insert, delete, rename. We can't do any of these things here because the workbook is protected. Notice that here the icon has not changed its name, but it looks like it's selected. So at some point, you want control over it. You might want to get that sheet back. Protect workbook. You know the password. And now we could right-click on the current sheet and choose Unhide. And there it is. So, two major techniques for protecting worksheets, workbooks on the Review tab. Protect Sheet, Protect Workbook. We're looking at a worksheet that's a few hundred rows, and I'm about to make some changes in it. But others might want to be making some changes here too. And what we'd like to set up is the idea that we can have and want to have different users be able to make changes to this in a simultaneous time frame. The feature that we want to be using is called co-authoring, although we will not see on the screen that term. In the past, and still existing, is a feature called Shared Workbook. Co-authoring is designed to replace that feature. We do begin this process, though, with the word share, and increasingly these days, it's important to be able to share files. As I slide over share, you see it in the upper right corner of the screen, share this document. And this dialog box comes up. Where I'm sitting right now, the user of this computer is called Instructor 2, and you'll see the name right there, and we'll see that larger in a bit. So this person here is about to share this workbook by way of sending this file in an email. So the other person is Dennis Taylor, who's located elsewhere. And this is his address. Before sending this, I'm going to click the drop arrow here because possibly I might want to allow him to not make changes, but he can at least view what's going on. More likely and increasingly, we want the other person to be able to make changes. And in a real-time environment, we can actually watch those changes. Send here means send an email to Dennis Taylor, who's located elsewhere. Could be down the hall, across the street, in a different city, different state. And at the receiving end, at some point, Dennis Taylor will receive an email indicating, in the following words, Instructor 2, remember that's the name of the person on this computer, shared a file with you. So Dennis Taylor is going to be opening that file. And when he does, he'll be seeing exactly what we're seeing on the screen in terms of that worksheet. And on the screen here, guest contributor is here. We see a GC right there. So Dennis Taylor is about to make some changes in column H, early ones up there where you see Casper. That should have been Wyoming. So he's highlighting these 4 cells right now at the moment and putting in Wyoming. And that change has been made, and we see it here on the screen. It's going to adjust those zip codes as well, too. They should have been 8, beginning with 8 instead of 3. So those changes are being made right now on another computer in a different location. Meanwhile, over here, Instructor 2, who's using this computer, needs to change this entry. This should have been white. And Dennis Taylor, who's located elsewhere, has seen that change take place. Now, periodically, what either user might consider is to go to the Review tab and show the changes. And we see a dialog box pop up on the right there. Here's the change here for white. Here, because the changes occurred over a number of cells, we have to click this button and see those changes there. So I think you get the idea here how valuable this is. We're seeing other changes taking place in real time. And we can have more than just one user too. And before doing this, it would be best probably to test this out with 2 users, 3 users, and learn some of the ins and outs of how this feature is used. Features referred to as co-authoring. It allows us to share files in a real-time environment and make changes to those files so that all the users can see what's going on. There are also capabilities here for providing comments. That's beyond the scope of this course, and some other capabilities as well. It's called co-authoring. Increasingly used for people who use Excel in collaborative business environments.